Record.
All right, you guys. So welcome to week 2 of our director bound. Oh my gosh, you have made it this far. So that is awesome. And we just love spending Sunday nights with you guys. I know sometimes it's hard, especially in the summer, but we just really, really appreciate you guys being here. So we're going to start off tonight with a quick, exciting video, assuming that I can remember how to share audio.
I never know how.
Right? I feel like I always screw it up. So, ooh, share sound. There it is. Okay, I think I've got it. So here we go.
To sell your company to L'Oreal to have this aha moment, but I realized I was doing it wrong.
Your electrical? I don't know.
This is something that a lot of people go through.
No idea.
Where we're really amazing at our jobs or at building teams or leading teams or ideating or creating, but maybe we're not good stewards of a body. Maybe we're not good partners, or maybe we're just not even feeling the day and feeling alive and enjoying the journey. And so for me, having that epiphany was huge, because if I could do it over again, and I protected my teams, I made sure that, that they really were always inspired, that they, we did things that filled everyone else with joy. But as a leader internally, that was a journey for me to try and get to that point of realization, of celebrating the win. And so, I have to do that intentionally now. I have to be super intentional about celebrating wins. When Believe It just made the New York Times bestseller list, that night I had so much to do. And I'm like, nope, you know what? I literally opened a half bottle of wine. I was with a friend and we each opened a half bottle of wine. We cheers. I poured it in this coffee mug. And I'm like, I'm going to celebrate right now. You know what I mean? Like, I think we have to be so intentional about it, because before we know it, the months go by, the years go by, the decades go by, and all we ever did was work really, really well.
All right. So we wanted to share that with you guys. Oh, well, hold on. We're still playing. There we go. We wanted to share that with you guys tonight because it is so important to celebrate the wins, right? And to just sort of take that moment to be excited about what you've accomplished and to sort of share it with each other and to really sort of boost each other up. So with that, we would love to hear from you guys. What's been good this week? What successes have you had? How's it been going with doing the booking reach outs, recruiting, all of that good stuff? So I'm going to turn it over to all of you. You can throw it in the chat. You can come out of mute. We just want to hear what is good. What's been good over the past week? It's got to be something.
No, I'm not part of this crew, but I want to tell you, I can't call it pulling a Polito, but I'm on my way of somehow the sort of same thing. And everybody knows I'm a chicken to talk to people in public when it comes to the business. 4 years in it, and I still get nervous. And a woman pulled me aside from AT&T at Target about a cell phone or whatever. And she got me all these deals and everything. She asked for my number because I needed to head out for the kid's birthday party. And she texted me and we start working everything for the phone to go. And I give her a call and I brought up Pampered Chef and I brought up that I'm going to the Bahamas in 2 weeks. And she asked me how I got into it. And I was like, I didn't know how to cook. And I didn't believe that, these companies really made money, but I needed the money. So I figured I'd give it a shot. And now it's my career. She's like, I keep hearing about people starting these things that make them their career. She's like, I'm like you, I don't know how to cook, but I'm going to get a place with my boyfriend. And I'm going to have to talk to you about this Pampered Chef stuff. It sounds familiar. We're going to have a talk. And I was like, listen, you're getting me all the deals with AT&T. I'm about to get you all the deals with Pampered Chef. We're going to start talking. And I was like, oh my God, I just talked to a stranger off of a computer. Baby steps. But it's
awesome.
Still a win.
It's a total win. It's a total win. I love that. All right. And we have Rose telling us that she signed a new team member. So congratulations, Rose. That's one step closer. That's amazing. Lori booked 2 parties from a party and rebooked the host. So that is fabulous. Hopefully you guys all saw that post that I put up in the middle of the week about sort of the difference between booking 1 party from each party and booking 2 parties from each party, and how booking the 2 kind of keeps you in growth mode and covers you for those cancellations and all of that good stuff. So for me, 2 is always sort of like my minimum goal. From when I look at my parties for the week, I want to average 2 new parties for each one. One of them might have 0, one of them might have 3, one of them, whatever. Just as long as it averages out to 2 per party, then I feel like I'm in a good place. So Lori, you are definitely in a good place from that party. That is amazing. Stephanie got a booking from the Donut Post Challenge. I have been seeing that post floating around. That one's so fun. I haven't posted it yet, but I think that's coming soon. Sarah booked 2 new parties for September. Kayla booked 3 new parties. Oh my gosh, you guys, you are doing the things. This is amazing. The parties are out there, right? I know sometimes it's really hard and you get a lot of no's and you feel like, oh my gosh, everybody has had a party. Everybody's had a party. There's no parties left to be had. There are parties left to be had. It's just a matter of finding those people that either have never had a party, maybe have never heard of Pampered Chef, or haven't had one in a while and are ready to have another one. So they are out there. We can't give up. You just have to keep looking for them. All right. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Anne Marie, who's going to take us through this week's mindset moment.
All right. Okay. So here's the thing. The truth is, I clicked things. Sorry. The truth is that some of you have major goals for when you want to promote whatever it may be. And you've set your date of when you want to achieve that. And some of you have already maybe missed that target date. And some of you are still working towards it. But I want you to think about oh my gosh, I can't speak. What might hold you back from achieving the goal you put in front of yourself? Okay. There really is one thing that holds people back from having the success that they're looking for, and it's fear. What does it stand for? False evidence appearing real. Most fear is self-created, and it can easily become self-limiting. We're often under the impression that things outside of us cause fear, when in reality, most of it begins with our thoughts and beliefs. You can change the narrative of fear when you realize the source is in your own mind. Taking action is another cure for fear. Let's try to do an activity to help you overcome your fears. So I want all of you to write down one thing that you fear that relates to promoting. Now, whether it's director, team leader, consultant, I don't care. What is one fear you have when it comes to that? Whatever your goal may be. Now, after you've done that, and are you guys all actually doing this? I mean it. I want you to write this down, okay? Then I want you to take that statement and start to reframe the narrative. So if your fear is that you can't recruit 5 people, right? And you're like, this is insane. I can't get my 5 team members. Change it and say, when I ask enough people, I will easily recruit 5 team members, right? So I'm going to ask a couple of you to not be scared and come out of mute for me. Who wants to do it? 2 people. Come play with me. Guys better not leave me up here by myself. 2 people come out of mute. I see Christy reaching. Are you coming?
Okay.
Who else? Who's coming out of mute? 1 more. I'll call you out. I was that kid that would turn beat red.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
Oh, yay, Lori!
Okay. All right. So first, I want one of you to tell all of us your current fear.
All right, I'll go first.
Thank you.
Mine is just that I won't have time to put into it that I need to put into it, and I'll end up failing.
All right. So I want Lori, I want you to help Christy think of a way to rework that using positive words, right? Give her a positive space.
Okay, because can she repeat it?
Yeah, so well, to think of that first, like if you were saying I'm too scared or I won't get 5 people, instead you say when I ask enough people, I'll easily recruit 5 team members. And Christy's saying her fear is more of not having the time, right? You said, Christy?
Yeah. And just, I wouldn't have
Of
the
course.
time to put into it.
You always have the time, even if it's a little bit like this much, that's probably enough time. Because then when you get this much, there's so much excitement that you reprioritize. And next thing you know, there's this much time and you were like, oh my God, I didn't realize I had that much time. But you did. Because that little bit of time that you gave, it wound up being a whole bunch positive feedback. So you made the time and you just had the time.
Exactly. Even a 2-second check-in with a team member can totally change things. All right, so Lori, what's your fear?
Let's see. I guess that I could actually have a big team. So like I'm pushing for the little team and just kind of going about what I'm doing. And I don't really push myself any further than my comfort zone really, because I know I can do this.
All right, so Christy, how
But I
can
don't
we
know if I
make
can
that more
really do
positive?
that.
Oh my goodness. I'm not sure I'm the right person to answer that. Oh goodness, I might need help with this one. So her fear is having a larger team. I guess my positive would be if you're reaching out to your larger team, you're building more friendships and it's easier to maybe to reach out to the larger team.
Absolutely. And it's true. Before you know it, your team is way bigger than you had ever anticipated. And you're like, I don't know how this happened. But you're going to have those team members that are always going to connect with you and that are helpful or that make it easier. And it just becomes easy. Of course, you're always going to have those team members that kind of disconnect. They do their own things, but got to get out of your comfort zone, right?
Right.
You got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Well, and Anne Marie, that's exactly what I was just going to say, is that it sounded like another piece of her fear was coming out of that comfort zone. And when you guys do that, when you push yourself out of your comfort zone, that's when you really grow. And that's when you're going to start to see the changes and you're going to see growth in your business, but you're going to see that personal growth too, right? Because as you sort of push yourself that way, then you're going to become comfortable with more things. It just kind of like boosts your whole self-confidence and self-esteem, and all sorts of crazy things happen. So, you know, to use sort of the way Anne Marie was saying it, I guess I would say when I don't know, when I push myself out of my comfort zone, my comfort level grows or something like that. Right? That's kind of the idea.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mhm.
Exciting.
And your hair looks good down. No hat,
Right?
looks good.
I told her the same
I
thing.
leave my hair in
know.
my frizzy curly bun every day. And so I finally put it down and I'm like, I can't stop touching it. And I hate how short it is. So, but I'm like, I keep playing with it. And I don't have
It
to
looks
hide all my,
good.
my crazy hair with my hat today. Thank you. Okay, so let's expand on creating positive positive narratives and talk about affirmations. Positive affirmations are statements or phrases you repeat to yourself that describe a specific positive outcome. So I want more friends to help me and share a thought that's been holding you back from taking action. Anybody. I know Lori's thought that helps or keeps her from taking action is the fear of getting out of her comfort zone, right? So we already got that one. Anybody else want to share? And you know
Am I
what?
allowed to participate or no?
Yeah, go for it.
So one thing that I get nervous about is just like annoying all my people. You know what I mean? Like I just get worried. Or Steffi just said the same exact thing. I just get worried, like on Facebook, that people are just gonna be like, "Oh my God, here she is again. She wants me to book a party. She wants me to do this. She wants me to do that." Like that's a huge
Yes.
fear for me.
Love it. Because you guys are not alone. And that's one of those things is a lot of times we think that we're the only ones that are thinking this way. And I'll be the first one to admit that my mind is my biggest enemy. And I say this all the time, but we're not the only ones that are thinking this way. And we're not the only ones that get scared. And that's why it's great to come out and talk to each other about this, because then you realize, okay, other people might feel like this, but not as much as I do, or it's a little bit worse for me. And so now you really can, this is where we get to connect and get to know each other, right? So you got to think of those positive affirmations. I know one thing that helped is the I am statements. I am not in my office right now because my husband is in bed and it's my bedroom. But by my desk, I have sticky notes all over that says, I am an inspirational leader. And that's something I truly don't believe, but my team tells me all the time. And so I put it up there as that positive reminder. I am going to Puerto Rico. I am going to be Green by 15 every single month. I am going to be an executive director. It's all sitting there. And so whether I believe these statements or not, I see them every day and I remind myself every day, and it can help you. So sometimes something as silly as that, put it on your coffee maker or put it on your bathroom mirror, keeps the positivity in front of you, because then you're going to start tricking your brain into actually believing it. Your brain is not as smart as you think it is, because your brain will believe anything you tell it. So when you're telling it that this is my comfort zone, this is all I can handle, this is all I can do, this is all I want to do, then that's what you're going to start to believe. So if you tell it often enough, it'll start to believe it. So what are you going to tell your brain every day? You heard mine, right? So I am an inspirational leader. I am going to be Green by 15 every month. I am going to Puerto Rico. I am going to be an executive director. I am going to hit elite seller. I am going to get 3 categories in excellence. Those are all in my office. So whether you come out of mute, which I prefer, or if you say it in the chat, I want to hear some of your I ams that you're going to train your brain to start to believe. The chat.
I am an advanced director.
Love it.
Plus 500 bonus cash on select 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee models. Plus, get 3 years.
Anybody else?
With the Jeep Wave program.
I am an elite seller. I like to tell myself that. I
am
was.
Promote to director. I am going to be Green by 15 each month. I am an effective leader. From Stephanie. I am going to recruit someone. That's right.
I am a booking magnet.
Yes. Yes. Yes, I am fun. People want to party with me. I love that. I love that one.
I like that one too.
And remember, these don't have to be
I think
chef.
Stephanie needs to come out of mute and say that.
Let's hear it in your voice.
I want to hear it.
Jennifer says, I am going to do this. I can make it happen. Now I can make it happen. I will make it happen.
Good catch.
Unmute. She can't unmute, but she's looking beautiful on that ocean right there.
I was gonna say, it's hard to imagine that like there's too much noise and there's family all over the place when it truly looks like you're like relaxing at the beach.
All right, well, you get the idea, guys. And honestly, writing these down, putting them also on the sticky notes, sticking them all over, it sometimes sounds silly, but it's just that little thing that might, wherever you work, keep it right there. Or even, like I said, it doesn't have to be just pampered chef. We need to train our brains, you know? I am going to drop this baby weight because after baby number 3 is rough, but I am going to do it. And I constantly remind myself, I am going to get out of bed today. I am going to go for a walk today. I am going to listen to a training today. Whatever it may be to help retrain your brain think of what your I ams are, think of how to help get your head more positive and get yourself to believe it. So that is all I got for you for that. We're gonna move it on over to Jenny.
All right, so now we are going to talk about my absolute favorite topic ever, which is booking parties from parties. So if you guys don't know my story, when I first started with Pampered Chef, I stayed in my friends and family circle for 2.5 years, which was awful. And I never want to have to go back to that place where I'm begging to try to find a different host every month, right? I was there for a long time. So now I'm kind of passionate about making sure that I book parties from parties. And like we were talking about in the beginning of the call, I always try to have an average of 2 new parties from each party each week. And I kind of like challenge myself to make sure that I don't give up in that week until that happens. So if I have 5 parties that week, I want to make sure by the end of the week, I have 10 new parties on my schedule. They could be a year out, right? Sometimes we rebook our hosts. It could be a year out from now, but to me, that's a win. That counts. That's a new booking. That counts as my 10. But if I don't get them from those parties, then I'm going to reach out and use some other methods just to make sure I'm getting that average of 2 parties from each party every week. So here's some tips for you guys. First of all, go into marketing imagery. Click on booking. There are some beautiful graphics that Pampered Chef has spent a lot of money to create all of this stuff for us, right? So there's some beautiful booking graphics in marketing imagery. So make sure that you take advantage of them. When you guys are cooking, go live in your parties, go live on your VIP page. If you go live on your business page, you can actually stream into all of your parties at once. Did you guys know that? So it looks like if you have 3 parties going, it looks like you're live in all 3 of those parties at once. You are essentially live in all 3 of those parties at once. And you do that through your business page. But show off those power tools, show off those things that you're making, right? And then you can entice people to book with you so that they can get that quick cooker for half off, or they can get that blender or that air fryer, whatever it is, for a discounted price. Okay. But now here's the good stuff. Building relationships in your parties. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm actually going to give you guys the training that I have done for some other orgs. So we get a whole slideshow. Now hold on. Here we go. Booking parties from parties. So first of all, you want to get to know these people. You want to be creating relationships with your guests, right? They don't want to see you as just sort of like Jenny the Pampered Chef lady. I am Jenny the Pampered Chef lady, but I'm Jenny the mom, I'm Jenny the friend, I'm Jenny the wife, I'm Jenny who goes on vacation, I'm Jenny the psychologist, all of these things. So some cute pictures, shows the family, and talks a little bit about me. I love to go on vacation. Here's where I've lived. I like Stephen King, my favorite flower, blah, 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 right? I want them to have a feel for who I am as a person, not that I'm just sort of like some robot posting products with them for a week. I'm a real human. Maybe they can get a feel for who I am a little bit. You want to build relationships with them early on in the party. That way, when you go in for a booking later, you've already had some sort of communication with them and it doesn't feel yucky, right? I mean, I think we've all been guests in other kinds of parties where it feels a little bit spammy, where it feels like they're only after me for the booking. You don't want to have that. You want to start off building that relationship first. And the best way to get the relationship going with them is to get them to reach out to you first. So we're going to talk about a couple of ways to do that. So first of all, I do a free e-cookbook with all orders placed by midnight on Wednesday. That's the midway point in my party because they kick off on Saturday. They sort of wrap up the next Saturday. Wednesday's the midpoint. You can do that if you want. You can also do a free cookbook with every order. It doesn't matter. But the point is that they're going to reach out to you to get that e-cookbook. I like to do Wednesday because it encourages ordering early on, and I want to get that momentum going. because when people see other people ordering, then they kind of feel inspired to order too. So as people are ordering, each evening, I do one thank you post that tags everybody who ordered that day and reminds them to private message me to claim their e-cookbook. So here it is. Here's where they're doing that first reach out to me, right? So that's really important. And I always add some sort of fun engagement post because we want to get them talking, right? We know this. Engagement is key in the parties. And the more we can get them talking, the better. So something silly, let's debate strawberry or grape. You guys would be surprised how much conversation something like that sparks. On to the next page. Here we go. So once they reach out to claim their e-cookbook, you're going to send this. And I have this saved in my phone as one of those text replacement things. So I type in #order and this pops up. Thank you so much for your order. With how often we seem to look up you guys recipes on Google or find our recipes on Pinterest, I'm excited that I'm able to gift you Pampered Chef's virtual cookbook that can save right to your phone or tablet. No extra space needed on a shelf or in a drawer. Here's our newest to celebrate our 40th anniversary. Did you know Pampered Chef has been around that long? And this is the 40th anniversary cookbook. There are tons of e-cookbooks. You guys can use whichever one you want. It doesn't matter, but just, you know, that's what you're sending to them when they get that order in. Now, I told you guys that I do that for everyone that orders by midnight on Wednesday. What about the people that order after Wednesday? Obviously, I still want them to reach out to me, right? So I still do a thank you post and I tag them all and I say, thank you for your orders. Want a recipe? PM me the word recipe, right? And then the messages are going to start to come in. Recipe, recipe, recipe. And now you're starting that conversation with them too. And then again, thank you for your order. Here's a recipe my family loves. Did you enjoy the party? And just go into the Pampered Chef website and pick out whatever recipe you like, right? Whichever one you want to share with them. Okay, on Tuesdays, I do an unscramble game. I have a couple of these saved. Taco Tuesday is always a fun one. There's an ice cream one. There's a bunch of good ones. If you guys go to the Facebook group Fun and Games with Pampered Chef, you'll be able to find tons of these kinds of games that you can use. And an unscramble game is a great way to have them reach out and message you, right? Because when you're doing the regular guessing games, right? How many jelly beans are in a jar? It doesn't matter if 1,000 people guess on it, right? The game kind of keeps going on and we're waiting to see who the winner is. But if you do an unscramble and Christy jumps on and she gives us all the answers right there in the post, well, then that's it, it's over. So it kind of makes sense for them to be able to message you your answers so that everybody gets a chance to get as many of them as they can. And you're going to obviously give them raffle tickets for everyone who gets it right. And that's another way. So when they do that, when they message me the answers, I post a cute little GIF of a dancing taco. And I say, you know your tacos, how are you enjoying the party so far? Or you really know your ice cream, how are you enjoying the party so far? It doesn't matter. Just the key piece of this is how are you enjoying the party so far? You want them to start to have a conversation about the party experience. Oh my gosh, I love this party. This is the best one I've ever been to. Really? And then, you know, you can work into the conversation. You've been such a fun guest. I would love to do a party for you. Or have you ever hosted before? Are you new to the Pampered Chef? Blah, 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 right? You're going to start to build that relationship, have that conversation, and then work the booking into it. Okay. Hopefully you guys are all doing Google surveys. If you know me, you know I am passionate about the Google survey. It's so important. So if you haven't made one yet, please be sure you do. If you need help, reach out. We will help you create yours. I post it on Wednesday morning and I say, it's Wednesday already. We're halfway through our time together, but let's celebrate with our mid-party raffle. Fill out this quick survey for a chance to win a gift from me. Comment below once you've done it. I'll pick a winner on Friday. Tag everybody in the comments in the survey. I don't do a ton of tagging everybody in the party. I tag them in my welcome post in the beginning. I tag them in this survey, and I tag them all in a reminder at the end. You don't want to like annoy people by tagging everybody all the time, but these are kind of the important times, right? And you really want them all to see this post. You want them to fill out the survey. When they do, you're going to reach out to everybody who filled it out. Well, here, let me not jump ahead of myself. Here are the questions you're asking. It's simple, you guys. Keep it really, really simple. Don't ask them too many questions. First and last name, how they prefer to be contacted, whose party they attended, because you're going to use this same survey over and over and over again. I used to create a new survey for every party. That is exhausting, and it's a huge waste of your time. Just ask them whose party they attended. So when you get your survey results, you're like, oh, okay, this person was at Benjamin's party and that one was at Kayla's party. And then you just know. Are you interested in hosting a fun online party? Yes, no, or maybe. Are you interested in more info about being a consultant? Yes, no, or maybe. What product is still on your wish list? And feel free to leave any feedback. Say hi, tell me a joke. Do you have anything you wish I had done differently? You guys are going to get some great jokes, by the way. Fantastic jokes if you put that question in your survey. My 5-year-old loves it because I keep showing up with new jokes, and she thinks it's the best thing ever. Okay, the fortune is in the follow-up. You need to respond to every single person that fills out that survey. Obviously, if they say yes, you're going to friend request them and be like, oh my gosh, hey, so excited you want to host a party too. What date works best for you? Would blank or blank work best for you? Give them your next available 2 dates. Don't leave it open. Don't say, when do you want to do it? Because then that gives them the opportunity to say, oh, I'll get back to you or whatever, or I'll do it in February. You want to start out with your next 2 available dates and go from there. If they say, oh, I was really thinking I'd rather do it in October, well, then by all means, book them for October. Whatever it is that they want, do it. But give them those first 2 dates first. And most times they're going to pick one of those dates. If they say maybe, you're going to treat that like a yes, because 9 times out of 10, it is a yes. Very rarely have I reached out to the maybes and had them end up not hosting. Most of the time they do. So you're going to friend request them too. Hey, Benjamin, I saw in your survey that you might be interested in hosting. Yay, I would love to do a party for you. Would X or X date work for you? And typically they tell you. If they don't jump on that right away, then they're most likely going to tell you whatever their objection is, right? Well, I'm a little bit busy right now, but I was thinking in the fall. Okay, great. Let's pick a month. What month do you want? And then you pick the date, right? Or they might say something like, I'm not really sure how much time I have. And then you can share with them how hosting really only takes like 5 minutes a day, and that you're going to be doing the bulk of the work for them. You just need them to pop in periodically. Whatever it is, you're going to be able to handle that objection. And if you can't, if you feel a little bit stumped, that's when you take a screenshot, send it to your director, and we'll help you with the objection. But I promise you guys, most times the maybes are going to be yeses. Now, the no's. I used to never follow up with the no's. Oh my gosh, I was totally missing out. You want to reach out to them too and just say this. Thank you so much for filling out the survey. You're entered to win. I know you said no to hosting, but I was wondering if you'd be willing to give it a shot. Hosting is very easy and the rewards are amazing. Plus, Stephanie would get a bonus from you hosting. What do you think? And most of them will probably stick with their no, but some of them are going to turn it around. Some of them are going to say, oh, heck, why not? Right? I've had that happen. Or they'll say, I would really love to, but I just had a party a couple months ago. Well, then you can say, oh, I totally get that. That's awesome. I hope it was a huge success. Just so you know, any party in the next 6 months would still benefit Stephanie. She would still get that bonus. So what do you think about doing one around the holidays or something like that? And a lot of times they'll jump on it. So again, it gives you that opening to see what their objection is and sometimes overcome it, right? They may say something like, oh, I've done these parties before and they never go well. So no thanks. And then you could say, well, I totally get that. You are not the first person to share that experience with me, but you've never hosted a party with me before, and I would love to have the opportunity to give you a better experience. What have you got to lose, right? Anything like that. So just reach out to those no's, you guys, because every week I have at least 1 or 2 no's that end up becoming yeses. Okay, obviously, the 3 and 5 party booking bonus, right? You want to work with your host to get them to get those 3 bookings. So we're going to really encourage that. They make sure that they know that once they get those 3 bookings and those 3 parties are held within 6 months and qualified, they're going to get $50 from Pampered Chef. I mean, that is awesome. I wish that I could get that, right? I don't know of any other company that does that. And I think that is so cool. So you want to really encourage them to get to 3. And if they get to 3, you guys definitely push them to 4. And the reason I tell them is, God forbid one of those parties cancels or doesn't end up hitting 200. I don't want them to miss out on that $50 bonus. So we really shoot for 4, and they can be one of the bookings, right? So if they get to 2 and nothing is coming of it, right? We're not getting any more. Nobody else is biting. I'll encourage them to book their next party within the 6 months so that they can be the 3rd one. If they get 3, I still want them to book within the next 6 months in case somebody drops out. And certainly if they get to 4, I'm going to have them do it too, book again, because then they're going to get the bonus from me, right? I always give a free gift, and you guys can pick whatever it is. It doesn't matter. But I always give them a free gift if they get to 5 bookings. You don't have to do pictures of your kid if you don't want to, but you could do, this is a cute one. I don't know what happened to my image there. It got a little funky, but you can do, for each new party booked, a beach ball will appear, right? And when there's 3 beach balls, your host gets a $50 bonus. Super, super easy. Prizes. I give out 2 prizes per party, 1 for the survey and 1 final prize. And I just have easy graphics that say, thanks for taking the time to fill out my survey. The winner is. Time to announce our final winner. The winner is. And they have to message me to claim their free gift, to claim their prize. When they do, you're going to say, yay, congrats on the win. I can pop our newest Season's Best Cookbook in the mail for you. Or if you are interested in hosting your own party on Facebook, we can upgrade your gift. What do you think? And the upgraded gift, what I do is a spice, and they get it when they hold their party. You're not going to give them the upgraded gift now because they could cancel, right? Anything could happen, but they're going to get it when they host. And that's really sweet for you guys too, right? Because then you're just putting it on their host order. So you're not paying shipping on it. They are already taking care of the shipping, or hopefully they're getting free shipping. And you're going to get at least 10% off on that spice. And it's commissionable for you. So you're going to earn $1 or $2 on that one. So it works out really good. If they decide to go with the Season's Best Cookbook, that's fine. You can go into their cart and click add a gift and just add the Season's Best Cookbook. I order a bunch off of supply, because you can order 10 Season's Best Cookbooks for $10, right? $1 each, and they cost like $1 to ship. They're a little heavy, so it's not regular shipping, but it costs like $1, so it's $2. Whereas if you do add a gift, I think it's $4. And I also like that when I send them in the mail, hopefully you guys can see this. I can't see what you can see or not, but I give them a little, there we go. Here we go. It's my business card. It's my business card, and it's on a magnet. So now I'm going to live on their fridge, right? It's just some good advertising for me. So that's the prize thing. Like I said, don't forget to rebook your host. Ask every single host if they want to rebook their party, right? So you just say something like, before I forget, I just want to check and see if you want to get on my calendar now. I typically suggest 6 to 12 months out. Your party was so great, blah, 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 blah. It is worth it. You guys, I'm coming into September, and my September is pretty much full. And it's because of hosts that I've rebooked from 6 or 12 months ago. Okay, some bonus booking ideas, right? We talked about how if I don't get the average of 2 parties per party, I'm going to be reaching out to get extra bookings. So hopefully you guys are all doing the birthday message. I know we've talked about this quite a bit, but reaching out to everybody who has a birthday in this particular month, offering them 20% off their Pampered Chef order, and then putting it in as a shared rewards party. Or if you're interested in hosting a fun birthday bash, my gift to you would be $25 in extra free products. Let me know which sounds good to you. And like I said before, the fortune is in the follow-up. Make sure you reach out to them a day or 2 later and say, hopefully you saw my message. Did you want the link for 20% off for your birthday? Or you could say, did you want to take advantage of that extra free by hosting your party? Whatever it is, follow up with them, because that's where the majority of it's going to be. You can also reach out to your past hosts. Hey, I can't believe it's been a year since your last Pampered Chef party with me. We're coming up to June again, or September again, and that means new fall products are coming out. I have a few spots left. I don't care if you have every single spot left, you guys. You always tell them that you have a few spots left. You want to sound like you're sort of a hot commodity, right? And they want to jump on that. It would also extend your past host discount for another year. Let me know if either of these start dates work for you, and follow up. Make sure they saw it. Now, if you haven't been with us for a year, if you don't have hosts from a year ago, do 6 months. I can't believe it's been 6 months since your last Pampered Chef party with me. Our brand new catalog is coming out, and I'm booking up September fast. I thought of you because I know how amazing your parties are, right? Whatever it is, but reach out to those people, get them on your calendar again. Okay. So that is it for my booking excitement. Okay. Hold on. How do you stop people from answering under that post? My people never follow the rules. Rose, was that about the unscramble? I'm guessing that it was, because that happens to me all the time. So when they do that, I delete the answer, and then I just tag them and say, Rose, make sure you send it to me in a message so everybody else doesn't see it yet until I post the answers, and like a cute little emoji, a winky face, whatever it is, to make it so that you're not like chastising them and yelling at them. You're like, oops, ha, 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 ha. And normally they're good sports about it. And they'll say something like, oh, I should read better, or teaches me not to read the whole instructions, or whatever. If you don't make a big deal out of it, they won't either. But I do delete it, because otherwise it's over, right? That's it. So you want that to keep going. All right. Any other questions on booking parties from parties? Another thing for the follow-up, which I haven't done yet, but I think this is the cutest idea, is that I can't even remember where I saw it, but somebody took a picture of themselves and they're holding a piece of paper, and they have like a face on, and it says, are you getting my messages? Or something like that. Because we all know that there's people that read the messages and totally ignore us. So if you do something sort of like cute and funny, then maybe they're more likely to respond to you. All right. Anything else? I have a hard time getting people to fill out the survey. Sometimes I have a hard time. Sometimes I don't have a hard time. Just keep at it. Remember to keep tagging them. I do 2 of those guessing games every party, like how many M&Ms are in the manual food processor or whatever it is. I do one in the beginning, and then I do one on Thursday, right? So my survey gets posted on Wednesday. And when people do the guessing game, they get 1 guess, but if they filled out my survey, they get a second guess. And I put that right in there. So how many jelly beans are in the blender cup? 1 guess per person. 2 if you filled out my survey. Here's that link again. And it just, some people get really into those crazy guessing games, and they're like, woohoo, I'm going to get 2 guesses now. So give that a try. Yes, definitely tagging them, because they miss it. Most of our posts get missed, right? Nobody sees every single post. So that's an important one to tag. All right. Anything else before I turn it back to Anne Marie? All right, girl, it's all you.
Almost forgot I was muted. Okay. So recruiting at parties. Now you booked the parties. Now you want to recruit at these parties because one of the things you want to focus on is 4 and 1. And you're going to have those 4 to get the 1, right? So when you focus on 4 and 1, you recruit at least 1 party from every 4 parties you hold. So to do that, you'll need to identify 3 to 5 recruit leads from every single party. That means you need to get intentional about recruiting. I always hear Sharon's voice in my head, Sharon Zellen, saying there is a recruit at every party, but is there a recruiter? And it is so true. If you're not asking, the answer is always going to be no. So the very first lead you have is obviously your host. You always hear, ask your host at least 5 times, right? And although your host is your number 1 lead, you got to also think of your guests. You're going to have rock star guests in your parties, and some that might not seem like rock star guests, but they could also be your leads. So you need to get intentional about talking to them too. So let's talk about how you can identify these people. Now, if you're in home party, it'll be the people that are the first ones to show up, right? They're excited, or offer to help out. Okay. But if you're at a virtual party, it's not as easy to just pinpoint right away, but think about who's engaging a lot. Is there somebody that's commenting on everything? I love that. I have that too. Or some of them will even post pictures of their own stuff, or they might comment on things often, or play every game, or drop gifts and emojis. Get excited, right? But everybody is a potential consultant that is in your party. You need to ask everyone. There are people that don't place orders that could potentially be a great consultant, but they're not placing an order because they can't swing it that week. Or maybe they already own all the product, right? So just remember, you got to be talking to everybody. So there are 3 steps to recruiting in your parties. Number 1 is inform. This is where you inform the guests about the benefits of the business. This can be through your Ask Me Anything posts, which if you don't have one, throw one in there. I know a lot of us took them out in fear of the questions we get asked once things kind of changed, but you can still have these posts. It could be in your games that you play. It could be telling your story or a testimonial or whatever it may be. For me, the first thing I do is my story. I learned from an old, sad to say, she's not in the Pampered Chef anymore, but an older field development manager, Stacia Smilek, and she told me, we were chatting once, and she said, you need to create a video today. And I was like, what does it got to be? And she's like, I need you to make a video and give a little blurb about why you joined Pampered Chef. And she's like, I told her I have bad word vomit. And she's like, keep it 2 minutes and under, and don't finish your story. Give a little gist, get them excited, so they want to hear the rest of your story. So started off with, I didn't know how to cook anything. All of my kitchen tools were from the dollar store, my little bit of that I tell people when I first started the business, and then tell them, stick around to the end of the party and find out why I stayed. Okay. Because I joined with 30 days on my mind, and here I am 4 years later. So stick around, check out my video at the end of the party to find out why I stayed. But in this video, to get this video interactive, she says, add a little code word. So in my party, or in my video, I say, make sure you send me a private message with my secret word. My word is dash. Send me a message with that. But it means a lot to me. So if you want to know what the meaning behind this word is, ask that too, because I like to share it. And this is the very beginning of my party. This is a welcome video that I'm doing. So at the beginning of my party, I'm already getting messages from people that say dash, or code word is dash, or why did you pick the word dash? And then my response is, have you ever heard the poem Live Your Dash? The majority of people say, no, I haven't. So this really opens up conversation, and I send them the poem. And they're like, oh my God, you have me crying. This is so emotional. I've never heard this before. Or you get the people that are like, I love that poem. I'm like, listen, it's my team name. We are Team Live Your Dash. It means so much to me. We all have, like, my family all has bracelets, blah, blah, blah. And it gets the conversation going. But I got them already to hear the beginning of my story. So I pulled them in. And then I got them chatting with me through Messenger. And then they're going to stick around to hear the end of my story. So this is one way that you can determine these people by having those stories out there about your business. But like I said, keep it short and sweet. It only show off the beginning, and through the end, your why you stayed at the end of the party. You can also have recruiting posts, obviously, and marketing imagery has so many amazing new ones. And if you're like, I don't want to use the same ones everybody else is using, take that graphic and just add a frame to it, remake it, retype up the identical thing. It doesn't matter, you know, as long as you're getting it out there, get your posts on there, or take the videos that are on marketing imagery, right? There's videos about recruiting that you can post in your parties to get everybody else excited. And your Ask Me Anything posts, make them a little bit more exciting too. My Ask Me Anything post is a picture of me in my kitchen with my Enrichables, and I'm just holding up my Enrichables, and it says, ask me anything about my business. But it's got my face on there, you know? So it gets it a little bit more exciting. Okay, so the next step when it comes to recruiting your parties is invite. This is when you invite guests to learn more about the business. And this can be through a post, like I was just talking about. This could be through follow-up messages. It could be personally inviting a guest to learn more about the business. You can play a game that opens up communication, you know, like the guessing game, whatever it is, and or whatever they're messaging you for. If it's the e-cookbook or anything, thanks. Are you having a good time at the party? Or what do you think of the party so far? It is the best way to get the conversation going. Or are you a PC newbie or a PC junkie? Ever since Amy said that, it's like burned into my brain. You need to look and listen for signs that the guest might be interested in the business. There could be flags that could show that they have interest in the business that you might not even notice. So make sure you're getting to know the guests more than just, hey, that's that one that commented and said that she was friends with the host from middle school. It'd be, okay, that's the girl that said she was friends with the host from middle school, and she said she's got this exhausting job and she works crazy hours, but she also does this and she got 4 kids. You're getting to know them. Okay, so look for those party rock stars that are always commenting and joining in. And they a lot of times will interact on the more fun posts, but also the product posts. And if they're getting, oh my gosh, I love the garlic press. I use it for everything. You already know that they love a product. Who knows if it's the only product they own? I didn't own any Paper Chef before I joined. That is somebody you can still talk to. Okay, and pay attention to your Google form. There are times where there will be a guest who does not order, does not interact, and then they throw in the Google form that they're interested in business, and it throws you for the loop. Just, you can't assume anything with anybody. Check that Google form, make sure you're looking through your parties, and be intentional about asking everybody. If you ask them about the business and they say no, ask them about booking the party. People are less likely to tell you no twice. I kind of feel that. Okay. You can invite anybody to learn about the business by sending them your Be a Consultant website. If you go to your personal website at the top as a guest, you know, your personal website, it says Be a Consultant. You click that, and this is where people sign up to be a consultant directly through you. But if they scroll, they can learn more about the perks and all of the exciting things, right? So just sending them this alone, even if they're not joining right away, they can learn more. The last step is inquire. So this is when you inquire about any questions the guests may have about the business, and it could be through text message, it could be personal message, it could even be through a quick phone call, which I hate talking on the phone, and I can't tell you how many customers I've talked to on the phone, and it was not terrible. Okay, it's nice for them to hear your voice. So you might ask them, what kind of questions do you have for me? What is it about Paper Chef that you're most excited about? What appeals to you about the business? If you chose a kit, which one would you have your eye on? Are you ready to get started, or do you have some more questions for me? Or do you have any concerns? Ask every person at the party about the opportunity, okay? Ask short, specific, open-ended questions. There's no, hey, you ever thought about becoming a consultant before? No. guess what? The conversation is now over because they said no. And what are you going to come back at that with? Oh, okay. You know, so it's more of a, if you had extra money each month, how would that help you and your family? Who's can honestly say to me, oh, my family and I could not use extra money every month? Nope, we just can't handle it. No one's going to say that. Or if you saw somebody, if you posted, tell me something, you know, how do you know your host? I post in mine, it's how do you know the host? Where are you from? What do you do? Tell me a little bit about you, right? And so I will get anything from I do this and that and that, and life is crazy. And people tell me how exhausted they are in this post all the time. So I would say to them, how much, you know, you can say, how much free time do you get to yourself? How much mean time do you get? Do you do anything fun? Are you looking for more fun in your life? Okay, because this is not always about the money. There are people that join this business for the relationships. There are people that join this business for the fun. There are people that join the business for the in-home parties to get out of their house, right? So it's not always about the money. Some people might join for the vacations. Make sure you're posting about the trips that we can earn. So just keep in mind that not everybody is in this for the financial end of it. So ask everybody. And you've got to personalize your messages towards them based on what you've read. So like I said, I try to get to know the people. Like, Taylor, you've been on my mind because I know you mentioned that your work life and your kids and everything, the balance is so crazy that you are just exhausted, right? I think Pampered Chef is good for you because here's why. It could be so hard to find the flexibility of a 9-to-5 job because I've been there. What if you could do something that you love with a flexible income that lets you spend more time with your family? I'd love to tell you more. Do you have 5 minutes to chat with me? I'm free now or at 2:00. And so now you're telling them, not only are you free to chat with them, but I'm not free 24/7. You got me right now or at 2:00. And I don't look desperate, right? I'll pencil you in because I got other stuff to do. But letting them know you are flexible, because that's one of those things that this job is. It's very flexible. If they're not sure about the business or they're not responding to you, you can send them the Be a Consultant website I told you about, because if you're sending them that website, you're encouraging them to check out all the perks and the testimonials that are on there and see our kits, because that gets people excited, and then schedule a time. So they don't respond and be like, here, why don't you check out this website so you can see a little bit about the our kits and our perks and see why other people have enjoyed the business, blah, 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 blah. And say something like, Susie, if you have more questions, you can check out my Be a Consultant page on my website. You'll find great information about our starter kits and the perks and benefits of becoming a consultant. Why don't you check it out and let me know what you think? With a question mark. I'll check back with you in a day or two to answer any questions you might have. So now you're not bombarding them, right? You're like, check this out, and I'll give you some time to think it over, and I'll see if you have questions. So then you're giving them that space to breathe. Sometimes we see that somebody's interested in the business and it's like word vomit and hounding all at once, and you scare them into not joining. I had a lead list at one point with 49 names on it. I kid you not. And I will tell you right now, one person out of that 49 in like a 6-month span actually joined, because I scared all of those people with my word vomit. And there were some of people that were like, I can't do it right now. And it was like you need to join now kind of thing, you know, and we don't mean to do it, we can be intense. So giving them a little space. Some people think of this as a huge step and that they need to put a lot of thought into it. And other people are like, sign me up. I don't care what happens next. So you got to kind of feel who you're talking to and remember to give them the space. If they are interested, but they still kind of want to think about it, or they want to learn a little bit more, ask what questions they have. Do you have any questions for me? Do you have any concerns? This is the time that you start sending those screenshots to your upline, or throw them in our director group. Go to our page, throw them in there, everybody else can help you. Or just reach out to your specific upline or somebody else. But you want to make sure that you're there to answer the questions without giving them too much information, right? No more word vomit. Slow down a little bit. Weird word vomit, just barely words. exactly. And you want them to ask the questions. You want them to be excited. If you're giving them all the information, they're like, oh, okay, well, I know everything now. That's it. And don't forget about our opportunity events. They are fun. They win things. And people that have no thought in their mind about the business will still join just to learn more. You can invite every host and be like, listen, I'm giving everybody in your party an extra 20 raffle tickets if they show up to this opportunity event and come back to your party and tell us one thing that they learned, and they can win a prize from me, right? Or just say to all your hosts, hey, just check this out tonight. I know you just said you didn't have an interest in the business, but you can still win something. So why not just come be a fly on the wall? And I've had people with other companies that are like, I'll learn about what your business is about. And they get all excited and they're like, I didn't know you had this and that you did that. Just for them to hear more without you pressuring the business side on them, right? A little calmer way of inviting them. So yeah, just saying things like, take a look at my website. Do you have any other questions for me that I can answer for you? Do you have any other concerns that I can help you with? If they're like, I just kind of need some more time. Not everybody that you invite to join the business is going to say yes, but again, follow-ups are always key and you need to be intentional with your follow-ups. So when somebody starts to show interest, reach out to whoever your director is so they can help you, because there's a chance you might overlook something that they said that your upline can seriously help you get that yes with. Send your screenshots, send a billion of them, it doesn't matter. And if your lead is not ready to commit, invite them to the opportunity event so they can learn more. But you need to have a lead list. There's a couple ways to do this. You can have it on Google Sheets, so it's with you everywhere you go. You can't use the excuse I lost it, right? You can have yourself a notebook. Or you can make yourself a hot, warm, cold book, okay? So you've got your hot leads. These are the people that said yes, but just haven't jumped on it, right? They want to join, but they didn't yet. You've got your warm list that's like, I really want to, but I don't have the money, or I just don't have the time. And you can tell they want to, but they might just be too scared. They've got the excuses. It hasn't happened yet. And then there's your cold list where they kind of want to join, but they ignore you and you don't hear from them for some time. Your hot leads you want to keep on top of without hounding them. And your warm leads, just every once in a while, check in. Hey, we've got a special coming up. Just want to make sure you knew this month you get the kit rebate. No pressure. If you have any questions about it, just let me know. Constantly remind them of the opportunity events. We're playing bingo. Like, who doesn't like a game night? Do you want to come and join bingo? You can win a free product or maybe even a free kit or a discount, whatever it may be. Get them excited, but let them know that they're always on the back of your mind. And then your cold list, you just kind of reach out to them every once in a while, because who knows if you'll ever even hear from them. But you got to keep the lists there, because there's no way you'll remember who everybody is and who's in the business. And you'll go green dotting one day and you go to ask them about booking a party and you're like, oh my God, like 8 months ago, they said they were interested in business and I was going to follow up and I forgot. I just totally forgot. So you got to keep yourself these lead lists, no matter if they're hot, warm, cold, Google Sheets, a regular notebook, all of the things, because I do all of it because I'm so ADD, I need to have things everywhere, however you prefer things. And this is a good thing to show your upline. Okay, these are the people on my list. This one's got this issue. This one's got this issue. Help me out. How do I work around it? Because that's what we're here for. Any questions? Because that was a lot. All right, well, Jenny, I'm gonna check out the chat.
That was awesome. The only things I want to add to that are, Anne-Marie was talking about giving everybody bonus raffle tickets for having them go to the opportunity event and then come back and report something that they learned from the opportunity event. Put that in your template, like tonight. That's a big one, you guys, because a lot of times we use that opportunity event group over and over and over again. So somebody who joins it today is going to see a ton of information over the next few months. And typically, once they come in and check it out and report back to the group and get their bonus points, whatever, they don't they don't tend to leave, right? So they're going to keep seeing our faces and they're going to keep seeing our successes and hearing the great things. And you really never know. Maybe they fill out the survey that's in there. Maybe they win a kit credit. Maybe it's the little push that they needed to get them to join. So throw that in there. And then what the heck was the other thing that she made me think of? Oh, tracking. Don't forget that we have that resource for you guys on the Director Bound page. We have that document that has like last week's call and the survey that you're supposed to fill out after you watch the call. And it has some trackers on there for you. So we've made it easy for you. You can go ahead and make a copy of that tracker. And then if you want to change it up, make it your own, add things, whatever you want to do, but it gives you something to start with. Okay, call to action for this week. You're going to want to do a check-in with your director at some point during the week. Be prepared to talk about how it's going with booking, how it's going with recruiting, how it's going with tracking, right? Important stuff. You want to make sure you're doing that. Keep going with your 30 contacts a day for bookings and recruiting, right? Keep reaching out to people. I know we had the Turbo Recruiting Challenge, that it was a 3-day challenge that Pampered Chef put out there. We don't have to stop just because Pampered Chef said it was only 3 days. You still want to keep reaching out to those recruits. And like Anne-Marie said before, don't just feel like you have to reach out to people about one thing or another. If you reach out about the recruiting and they say no, then you're going to go into that booking question, right? Because they are more likely to book with you if they said no to the recruiting. Anne-Marie talked about sharing her story in the beginning of her party, how she does that. So we would love for you guys to write up your story and or do a video about your story. And we would love to see you guys share those on the Director Bound page this week. Because you're going to inspire each other, right? And you're going to be able to get some positive feedback. And then you're going to be able to put those into your parties too. And we're so excited to see them. Make a list of the things that you learned during this session and jot down the ones that you're planning on implementing right away. And we want you to share those on the page too. And then obviously keep adding names to your trackers of the people that you have reached out to, your hot list for recruiting, and your follow-up list. All right, we have a couple minutes left. Not
Code
really,
word.
we kind of went over. So we need a code word. Let's make the code word blue, in honor of my blue tongue from the cookie that I ate just before this call. So code word is blue. So make sure you guys fill out the survey, throw the code word in there. And before we wrap up, who's got questions? Anything, you guys?
Jenny, I don't know if you answered because I was driving home at the time, but when you put your question with the word scramble and you said you have them message you, I always get people who don't follow and they answer right there. How do you get people to stop doing that? Like,
so yeah, it totally does. And
Mm-hmm.
I did answer this before, but I'll answer it for you again. I figured you weren't available. I just delete it. No, you're fine. I delete it. And then I tag them in it and I say something like, you know, oops, Rose, make sure you message me with the answer with like a little cute winky face or something like that. And typically they're going to be like, oh, that teaches me for not reading the directions or whatever. And once you call one person on it, most likely the other people are not going to continue to do it. But you are going to have to say that periodically because
sometimes I delete it and I just say, make sure you message me. So no one sees that and everyone gets a chance to play. Like I always add in there so everybody gets a chance to play because there are people that do it on purpose because they don't want to message you. And you're like, oh,
yeah,
he's reading it. Okay.
The other reason I posted the question because I was thinking maybe should we make the post where you can't have any answers underneath there? You know what I mean? Like make it so you can't.
Well, so I make mine say comment here when you're done. So it draws attention to the post. So there's still comments. Because if you make it so nobody can comment, I get worried that it will ruin the algorithm of the post and nobody will see it. So I
Right.
always say, comment when you're private message me so no one sees your answers. I'll post them when we're done, but comment when you've messaged me so I know to look for
I'm
it.
gonna try. I kind of steered away from doing those because, like, I swear to God, every freaking party, I get
Mhm.
these people that do, and I'm getting so frustrated because I'm like, please ruin my whole game. Thanks. And you know, my work schedule is so insane. I might not get onto the game until later, so I don't even know my game is ruined until I get back from work at like 11 o'clock, or so then I'm like, oh, nobody's played my game because the game was already ruined, so I might not even notice it until later because of my work schedule. So okay, sorry to ask that question again since you answered it, but
That's
I
fine.
was driving home, so
Nope, it's a good one. It's a good one.
No, here's something that happened to me recently in a party is I was posting a game and I'm like, okay, so everybody, it was like a family feud type situation. And so everybody, private message me your answers. And within like 2 seconds, like 2 minutes of me putting up the game, this lady, she's a regular at my parties, pops on. She has all the answers in the correct order, everything. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, there is no way she got these answers that quickly and that correctly in that order. There's just no way. So my husband is sitting on the other end of the sofa and I'm getting teed off because I'm thinking I wanted to get everybody involved in this and had like she just wrecked the whole thing. And he picked up his phone and he turned it around and showed it to me. And he had all the answers in the correct order to the same game that I had just posted.
He Googled it, right? It was on Google or something. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Google it.
Sneaky.
Pampered Chef, Family Feud game. He Googled the question. He had it in the exact same. He's like, here, this is exactly what she's done. And so I turned off commenting and I turned off commenting and made it, private message me with your answers. And I felt that also gave me an opportunity to talk to people individually when they were participating.
Yep, definitely. And I always try to have a balance in my parties. Like, I don't want to have every single game be where they have to message me. That's why I still put those guess the number of M&Ms games in there, even though honestly, like I can't stand them anymore. I don't know why I'm like so burned out from those guess how many pieces of whatever in the jar. Like, I just can't, but I still put them in there because that's creates that balance where they're like, okay, good. Not everything is taking place in Messenger. There are some things that are taking place on the page and it boosts the algorithms and it gets the engagement up and all that important stuff. Yeah, they do get competitive, but there are some times where it is more appropriate to have them play the game through Messenger. So especially when you get someone like that in there who is so, I mean, that's like kind of cheating in a way, I think. But
I had somebody that was a guest in 2 parties at once, and that was answered in one party and not the other. So she was answering everything so much faster in the other part. I'm like, you know you're cheating. Rude.
Yep.
You people.
Well, I can tell you what I did in that situation. I called my girlfriend and said, I have a party going on right now. And I knew she wasn't interested in ordering anything or being in the party. I said, I need you to join this party and I'm going to announce you a winner on this game for some raffle tickets. Just act all excited about it because I didn't want this other lady to know I had discovered that she was cheating.
I love it.
They get a lot of comments, so it's great for the interaction, but sometimes it takes over the whole party.
Yeah, definitely.
Anything else?
Yeah, I have something else since we're chatting.
All right.
I had a conversation with Margaret today. We were checking in with each other, and she was asking me about the form for the reach outs for recruits, and whether or not I was doing my 30 reach outs a day for recruiting. And I had to be honest with her, and I told her struggling this month with bookings, and so I'm kind of struggling with going straight for the recruiting thing when I'm struggling with just getting bookings. Any suggestions?
So the reason that we suggest that you go for recruiting first is because if I reach out to you and say, hey, Rachel, you know, Pampered Chef has been so amazing. I'm having such a good time. You know, I don't know if you were looking to earn a little extra money or have some more fun in your life. You know, have you ever thought about being a consultant, whatever? When they say no to that, then you can respond with, I totally get it. No worries. You know, just wanted to let you know I was thinking about you. What are your thoughts on hosting a party with me instead? They're more likely to say yes about hosting a party than if you did it the other way. Then if you were like, hey, how do you feel about hosting a party? And they're like, no, thanks, I don't want to host. Then you're not going to be like, well, would you like to join my team? Because that doesn't really make sense, right? If they don't want to host, they certainly don't want to join your team. But if they don't want to join your team, that doesn't necessarily mean that they wouldn't host. And very often, they'll say yes to the hosting piece of it. So that's why we say ask the recruiting question first, right? Because that's more of the long shot, in all honesty. You're going to have an easier time getting bookings than you are getting recruits, although some of those reach outs are going to say yes. But if you start sort of like with the big picture of recruiting and then you narrow it down and ask for the booking, you're more likely to get the booking. And right, exactly. Stephanie just said most people don't want to say no twice, right? So if they've already said no once, then they might throw you a bone, right? And they might jump on the booking. So give that a shot and see where that takes you. We are at the 15th of the month, you guys. So first of all, congratulations to all of you who are already green by 15, because that is super exciting. But you still have half the month left. You have a lot of time left. You can still add plenty of people to your team. And another reason to be really focusing on those recruiting reach outs is because of that kit rebate. We're not going to have that next month, as far as I know. I don't think we are. They don't usually do it 2 months in a row. So that's an amazing offer. And they have to sign up by August 31st to be able to take advantage of that. So you could seriously, I mean, I know people that have added 5 people to their team from the 15th to the end of the month and been able to promote to director. Crazy things can happen. So you want to be doing those recruiting reach outs during these last two whatever, 15, 16 days. We still have 16 days left in this month. It's amazing. So much can happen. Any parting words, Anne Marie?
My favorite color is blue, so I'm glad that's a code word.
Mine too. Is my tongue still blue?
No,
Not so much.
no.
It's gone. I've been
What have
drinking
you
so
been
much
doing?
water.
Oh,
Oh, the water.
what is
I'm
this
flushing
doing?
the blue, flushing the blue. I might not eat a cookie again right before.
We're done eating desserts right before
Awkward.
meeting. I really thought you were eating an ice cream sandwich. Had no clue it was a cookie. That whole
It
time.
was clearly a very blue cookie. You guys have an amazing week. Thanks for hanging out with us. Make sure you fill out the survey. If there are people on your teams that are part of the Director Bound, make sure you remind them to watch the replay, fill out the survey. We want you guys all in that happy mail drawing at the end, and we will catch you next Sunday. Be sure to check the page regularly throughout the week too. We're going to be posting some good stuff for you this week. Good night, everybody.
Bye.